US President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy held talks on the debt ceiling crisis. According to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, the two leaders have had productive discussions, but there hasn't been any deal yet. McCarthy has asserted that he would continue to hold discussions with Biden on a regular basis till a solution is reached. According to the US Treasury Department, the last date to clear the US debt is the 1st of June, which is less than 2 weeks away. The United States has signed a defense pact with Papua New Guinea. The pact is to strengthen United States' role in the Pacific, considering China's growing threat in the region. The security pact will provide access to US forces to its airfields and ports as Washington vies with China's expanding footprint in the Pacific region. Washington's concern comes at a time when it is trying to woo nations with an array of diplomatic and financial incentives in return for strategic support. A fake image of an explosion at the Pentagon briefly went viral on Monday. The Pentagon officials quickly took to public platforms to deny it as an AI-generated lie. The images were widely shared by the publication RT, Russian Times, and even a verified Twitter account. The image was spread by several accounts, forcing the Pentagon to officially refute the said explosion. This episode further stoked talk on the potential damage due to AI. Popular video app TikTok has filed a lawsuit in a US court to stop Montana from implementing a total ban. TikTok says this ban violates precedent in constitutional rights to free speech. The unprecedented ban is to kick in from 2024. Montana is the first US state to ban TikTok, with the law set to take effect next year as the debate escalates over the impact and security of the popular video app. The prohibition will serve as a legal test for a national ban of the platform, something that lawmakers in Washington are increasingly calling for. Lights of the iconic Redeemer statue landmark in Rio de Janeiro were switched off for an hour in solidarity for Real Madrid forward Vinicius Jr. The Brazilian government and the world of football united to condemn the racist acts that took place in the Spanish league match. Vinicius posted an image of Christ the Redeemer, insisting more needs to be done to bring more light to the struggle. Brazil's racial equality minister has also expressed his support for the sportsperson. Two houses, a warehouse and a vehicle were set on fire by 5 unknown assailants in Chile. The assailants had intimidated 2 families and set fire to their homes. As per reports, no people were injured in the attack. The fires took place in the Araucanía region. The region is home to the indigenous group known as the Mapuche. The group has long-standing disputes with companies in the area and the state. They've demanded the restitution of ancestral territorial right. Reports say the number of such arson incidents have increased. British unions are protesting against a bill requiring unionized professions to provide a minimum level of service during strikes in key public services. This new law requires a certain minimum level of services during walkouts by various workers, including the healthcare staff, firefighters and railway employees. The MPs are set to vote on the bill following months of disruptive stoppages across the private and public sectors. Decades-high inflation has fueled the worst cost of living crisis over a generation, leading to a series of strikes in the UK, with workers demanding hefty pay rises.
If this bill is passed overnight, it's going to end up with more disciplinaries, more strike actions.
Technician, but also GMB member! Vote to defend the right to strike now and
into the future.
We've got the right to collective bargaining, and we don't have one of these so-called...
They know we're going to fight back. We've been on the picket line, basically an attack on the right to withdraw your lane.
UK's Interior Minister Suella Braverman has reacted to opposition charges on breaching the ministerial code. According to reports, Braverman asked government officials to help arrange a private driving awareness course to prevent speeding violations. According to police and law enforcement, Braverman said she regretted the speeding offence and paid a fine. Portuguese police will resume search for traces of Madeleine McCann in an aerodam 50 kilometers from Praia da Luz in the Algarve, where she went missing in May 2007. Televised pictures showed a police tent, vehicles at the site on Monday. This line of investigation was initiated by the German police. According to reports, the water line of the dam is currently low due to drought conditions in the area. A fire broke out in a secondary school in Guyana, killing at least 20 people. So far, no cause has been ascertained for the mishap. Speculation is rife that the fire could have been started with a malicious intent. No suspects have been identified so far. Guyana's president called the major disaster horrible and painful. Apart from the fatal casualties, several people were injured in the fire. Polish Defence Minister Mariusz Błaszczak said that the country is in talks to buy Swedish early warning planes. The minister said negotiations will hopefully be finalized shortly. Poland has ramped up military spending since Russia's invasion of Ukraine last year, the government pledging to double the size of the army and spend 4% of the GDP on defence in 2023. The Polish defence minister, after a meeting of defence ministers from North Europe, said the move will not only strengthen the resilience of Poland but also of NATO's eastern flank. The latest from the Russia-Ukraine war, an attack took place in Russia's Belgorod Oblast region after midnight on Monday. 8 people were injured in the attack. The region's governor initially blamed the attack on a Ukrainian sabotage group. However, a group that calls itself the Liberty of Russia Legion, that's a Ukraine-based Russian fighter group, claimed responsibility. It says it is working inside Russia to overthrow Putin. The oblast is a Russian administrative district, Belgorod Oblast, which is on the Ukrainian border. India is hosting the G20 Tourism meeting in Jammu Kashmir's Srinagar. The inaugural working groups meet is underway. Events on film, eco-tourism are scheduled for the day. G20, that's the premier forum for international economic cooperation. It plays an important role in shaping and strengthening global architecture and governance. India holds the presidency of the G20 from the 1st of December 2022 to the 30th of November 2023.
Let me say that commendable.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Sydney yesterday on the third leg of his tri-nation tour. Prime Minister Modi met Australian CEOs and is scheduled to meet Australia's Indian diaspora at a mega event today. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Prime Minister Modi will hold bilateral talks tomorrow. Apart from being a member of the Quad grouping, India is also Australia's largest source of skilled migrants and is the second largest source of international students. Pakistan's controversial former Prime Minister and PTI chief Imran Khan is expected to appear before the National Accountability Bureau. Later in the day, Imran Khan will appear for the Al-Qadr Trust corruption case as well. Now, the PTI chief is also expected to appear before the Islamabad Anti-Terrorism Court to secure bail in 7 other cases. According to Khan, there are 80% chances of him being arrested as he appears in the capital for court hearings. Russian Prime Minister arrived in China late on Monday night. He's scheduled to meet with President Xi Jinping and ink a series of deals on infrastructure and trade. He will take part in Russian-Chinese Business Forum and visit a petrochemical research institute in Shanghai. As per the Kremlin, he will also hold talks with representatives of the Russian business circles. China last year became the top energy customer for Russia. Russia's gas exports had otherwise plummeted after Western sanctions over the invasion of Ukraine. South Korea has agreed to enhance security and supply chain cooperation with the European Union. This comes after President Yoon Suk Yeol's summit with the EU leaders. Yoon held the summit with the European Council President and European Commission President in Seoul a day after they participated in the G7 summit in Hiroshima, Japan. The European Council President said cooperation between the EU and South Korea was vital for the safety in the wake of Russia's continuous attacks on Ukraine. South Africa's electricity minister visited a power station with the management teams of Eskom, the public utility company. He said the team is having sleepless nights trying to find solutions in order to end the load shedding that's plaguing the country. Nigeria's president is on his way out, and to mark this occasion, the Nigerian Navy held last parade for the outgoing president. Buhari attended the presidential fleet review at the naval dockyard. He will also be stepping down on the 29th of May after putting in 8 years in office. Saudi's first woman astronaut, Raina Barnawi, has reached the International Space Station. 34-year-old Barnawi is the first Saudi woman to achieve this feat. Barnawi is a cancer stem cell researcher, and she, along with a Saudi fighter pilot and 2 more co-astronauts, they've achieved the mission. They've achieved a place here, pardon me. This mission is Axiom's second private mission in collaboration with NASA and SpaceX. The crew in the mission will later open the hatch to the orbiting space station, where they'll carry out research and science experiments.
Is Commander Peggy Wilson, also of the Saudi Space Commission. She is now the first female.
And congratulations with a successful launch.
President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has secured the endorsement of an ultra-nationalist Sinan Ogan, whose third-place finish helped force Turkey's first election runoff. Sinan Ogan's 5.2% of the vote in the 14th of May general election deprived Erdogan of an outright victory for the first time in his 20-year rule. Israel has accused the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's Corps of turning commercial ships into platforms for launching missiles, drones and commandos. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant presented images of 6 allegedly repurposed Iranian weapons at the annual State Security and Policy Forum in the Israeli city of Herzliya. He claimed that one had recently sailed towards the Gulf of Aden. Tensions between Israel and Iran has surged once again over Iran's nuclear drive and support for Palestinian and Lebanese. Three states have offered water cuts to aid the dwindling Colorado River. Arizona, Nevada and California have said that they are willing to cut back their use of the Colorado River in exchange for money from its federal government and avoid forced cuts as drought threatens the key water supply for the U.S. West. The plan is a potential breakthrough in a year-long stalemate and would conserve an additional 3 million acre-feet of water through 2026. About half of the cuts would come by end of 2024, which reportedly is less than what's needed to stave off to avert this river crisis, but is still a notable step in a long and difficult negotiation between the three states. Raging wildfires blanketed parts of Alberta in Canada as firefighters grappled to tame the massive blazes. So far, some 496 wildfires have leapt up this year, covering more than 842,000 hectares as compared to 459 hectares in 2022. Over 2,800 firefighters from Canada and the United States have been battling about 91 active wildfires for the past couple of days. Authorities are hoping for some respite through predicted rain and cooler weather. Mexico's volcano covered the town covered a nearby town in fine ash after reaching phase 3. Large domes exploded with increasing intensity, launching incandescent rocks into the air, causing pyroclastic flows down the flanks. Just a day ago, the government had upped the alert level to yellow 3. A man and his sister, who were separated during the India-Pakistan partition 75 years ago, were reunited at the landmark Kartarpur Corridor. The Kartarpur Corridor is a visa-free border crossing and religious corridor between Gurdwaras in India's Punjab and Pakistan's Lahore. As per reports, 81-year-old Mahendra Kaur from India reunited with her 78-year-old brother from Pakistan. The International Day for Biological Diversity event 2023 was held in Kunming in southwest China's Yunnan province. The theme of this year's event was From Agreement to Action, Build Back Biodiversity. It commemorated China's chairmanship at the COP15 meeting in Montreal last December, during which it led countries to adopt the Kunming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. In a video address at the event, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that the agreement on the framework marked an important step forward in global biodiversity conservation. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.